All right. Okay. Recently, I put on my Facebook page. Now, everyone is familiar, if you have ever carved, with what's known as a comfort bird, and these are birds that they carve for people, and they are given to people in hospitals and stuff, and they're supposed to hold them. It's sort of a comfort thing that goes with it. And these are wonderful. They're wonderful carvings to give. But I went into something a little bit different. It's not to take the place of the comfort bird, but I showed some on my Facebook page, and it's called a comfort character. And let me show you some of them. Here's a comfort character. Just a little guy holding a flower. And you bring that to someone who is in the hospital or staying in the hospital, and he's holding a little flower. It's like he's giving them a flower, in other words, as a form of comfort. Here's one. Here's another one. He's got a little smile on his face. I put this one is just kind of looks confused, you know. I put a little smile on this one's face. And I put a little smile on this one's face. And he's got two little flowers, in other words. But the key is that they're holding little flowers for the person, in other words. And they can keep this in their room, and they can look at it and smile and look like, you know, something funny and unique for them. So these are called comfort characters. And so I presented some of these over to the Facebook page, and people were going, would you do a video on them? And I said I would. So these are very, very popular with the people that I bring them to in the hospitals and places like that. Now let me show you the pattern that I use to cut them out. Now, if you notice, I use the big head pattern with these, and this is the pattern. So if you want to freeze frame it and get it, you know, you just freeze frame and then trace over it. It's the big-headed character. Now, I've always said, if you look at the big-headed characters, I've always said that to me, the body and the shoes and all that stuff, it's good, but you know, it's holding the flowers. But the face is the one that says it. You know, the smile on the face and those type of things. So what I do is with my big-headed characters, I make the head much larger so that I can emphasize the face and everything like that goes with it. And you can, in those characters, they didn't have a hat, but you can put a hat on them. You can put, you know, whatever you want to. Excuse me. For the figure itself, in other words. So this is the pattern. This is the pattern that we have right here for the big-headed character. Okay? I'm going to show that in just a minute. If you want to freeze frame it and get the pattern off of me, I can post this on Facebook, and then I'll post the pattern with it as I do. I know a lot of you may not be on Facebook, so that's why I'm trying to freeze frame it for you. Now, we take the figure, and we want to have a little bit of leeway out in here, especially because the hand is going in there, and it will be holding. It will be holding the little flowers. Now the flowers are, you can buy those at Hobby Lobby, and I'll show you those later. That you know how to get them and how to use them, and how you do it, in other words. But all we're going to do now. Remember, I know a lot of you don't have band saws, but I use my band saw, and I cut my figures out, and I do. I use my bandsaw because I bought it and I paid for it. I know a lot of you don't have bandsaws, but with the pattern you can actually, you know, from a block of wood you can make these things just as well as you cut them out. But we're going to work on the head. You know, we're going to separate the head from the body here, just to start with. And these characters are very, very useful. I have made quite a few of them, and I've taken them to the hospitals. I've taken them to nursing homes. I've taken them to, you know, particular people that I know that are in these particular places, and the people love them. They just love them. I'm not. It's not because of me or anything else. It's just that they love them because they can sit there and look at them and laugh at them, and or smile, as we might say. Let me get in between the legs here just for a minute. Where I cut that, and it's really just a character. Now, the wonderful thing about this is I'm going to show you the many ways that you could characters that you can make with these. Now, this is the person, this is the man, but we're also going to do a bear, and we'll do a dog, basically dressed in clothes and stuff like that. So there are different characters that you can make for the person to put a smile on their face. So you don't have to just do a person, a man, or whatever. So there's different ways of doing this, and we're going to do that. We're going to do several of them, and so we're going to I'm sorry, it's gotten a little cool down here in Texas, and I'm kind of choking up because of the sinuses and everything like that that's going on around here. We're having a rash of people having bronchitis and pneumonia down here. There's a lot of people that are having pneumonia. I have a friend in the hospital right now that has double pneumonia, and he's doing well, but he also has AFib, so they put him in the hospital because his AFib was kind of out of control. So I come back here in the back, and I'm starting to cut down this area in here, because this is the area, it is the loop, as we say. It's this area back in here that comes up. We're cutting back down into this area right in here to sort of give a little bit more to the head. And like I said, the head is not proportioned right. It's bigger. But as you can see, I do that for a reason, so that I can get more character to the person. Because when the person sees this figure, and they see that smile, or that big head on there and that smile, and then they see the flower in the hand, that adds to the you know, that adds to the character itself. I always say that, I have always said the face in the face is the character of the person, and that's one of the things that I enjoy doing so much, is doing the faces and the characters and stuff. Now, most of you know I do my stuff in the flat plane style, so you just sort of continue to make the head. I'm getting the head basically rounded off, or shaped, as we say. Not so much rounded off. It's not round, it's more of an oval shape. My faces are an oval shape, not a round shape. An oval, like an egg. Now, egg's a little bit rounder than this, of course, but not much. It's most eggs kind of look like this. So it's an egg-shaped head that I like to do for my characters. Now, I'm out in the garage, so you're going to hear some things. Now, on this part, I just put the hands in the pocket as we normally do. because you know, this area here. This is just to put the hands in the pocket, because we're not really gonna be concerned with this over here. This arm over here will have nothing to do with the other arm that will be carrying the flowers. And so we just put that in the pocket. We don't need to do anything else. Now, if you want to, you can put something else in the other hand or whatever. But for now, we're just going to put it in his pocket, because it's not going to really play a large role in what this is supposed to really mean. The area itself, in other words. So we just going to have that hand in the pocket, and we come down here like this, and like I said, we give some attention, of course, to it, but it's not the main focus of what this is supposed to mean. Okay? Alright, so we just kind of come down here and we work things. You know how we're working a figure. It's just as we work one. We just work sort of the situation here. We come to the back and we just kind of cut this in here just a little bit and separate that just a little bit. Even though he's going to have a coat on, we don't worry too much about that. This is sort of, like I said, this is not the main focus of the figure, although we want to have it nice. I'm not saying that, but it's not the main focus of the figure itself. This over here is. This is where the hand that carries the flowers is the main focus of what we want. So that's why I put the hands in the pocket over here. That it won't try to be anything more than just the arm in the pocket, basically. Okay, and we just begin to cut into that and show you how to. And we just cut in. You draw that and just cut into that, as you can see, making the figure with his hands in his pocket. Now, let's just take this and take a little bit more off the head here. And you'll see how with a big head it makes it much more characterized than it does just a small head on him in that sense. Okay? Now, let's go ahead. Now, let me show you what we do. I come over here to the front, and let me just take that little tip off right there. And I take and I draw my hand here. As you can see, it's just basically a square like this, okay? It's just a square like that. All right? And then I come across here, and then I come up here, okay? With the hand. And then it comes across here and back like this. Okay? Okay? I'm going to draw that a little bit lower and come up about right into here, in other words. Okay. Now you take your knife and you come down here and you cut this like this, okay? And you come down here and you cut this like this. So you start removing that wood in that area in there, okay? And that's going to be your hand. Your arm, I mean. I'm sorry. And then you come in here and you cut this You take this bit out here, and you cut this, and you take this bit out here, and we just sort of cut flat across like that, and you cut that like that, and then you come in here and you make a cut where the hand is, and then you remove that right in there. See? Where you have the hand sticking out. That hand will protrude from that, and then you begin to cut. Just start cutting around here, removing some of the wood, just like that. And you can make another cut right in there, just right in there. So that brings the hand out like that, okay? Almost like the hobos, where you got stuck on there. Almost like the hobos. Now, you come and you take and you bring that hand back a little bit further, okay? And that arm back just a little bit further, where you open that up just a little bit more, right in here. Okay? Let me see, I'm sorry. So, basically, let's come up here, up underneath here a little bit, and let's go ahead and take it. So all we're doing is doing this to protrude the hand a little bit, an arm, so that it has more look to it, see? And I'll show you how we're gonna, we're gonna kind of shape that a little bit. But as you can see, now the hand's protruding, and we can drill the hole in there for the arm. And to show you the hand, I'm gonna run my knife along here and cut from the inside and there. Come over here, cut from the inside and remove, and there's our hand. There's our arm, there's our hand. And we can cut a little bit more if we want to. I'm sorry. And there's our hand. That's the hand that's going to hold the flowers. Okay? Very simple, not hard. Just do it a few times. Now we want to come back up to up to the head up here, and we want to work on it now. Now we have to make our decision. How do we want to make the head? Do we want a hat on it? Do we want to leave it blank? Do we want what? Now, how do we do it? It's whatever you want. If you've done any figures and you made hats on them or done anything like that, all I'm doing now is just shaping. I'm shaping the head. And I'm going to bring this area in front here. You see this area that is leaning forward? I take my knife on each side and I come up with it like that. And then I come up with it like that, and that will eventually lead to my nose, okay? Just like in here. That's going to eventually lead to my nose. I'm not going to put a hat on him. I'm going to leave him without a hat. And we're just going to come up here about midway in here, and we're going to make our nose. And I'm going to cut that and come down, and my whole way of making a face, look, it doesn't have to be like mine, okay? It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. If you've done a character and you like a certain way that you do your characters, then do it your way, and just make sure that the hand, that you've gotten this part right here, okay? Because when we do the little bear, we're not going to have that, but we're going to add the hand the way it is, okay? Okay. And so I remove this wood in here, and okay. And then I start cutting the nose down. Each side, see how I go from each side and cutting the nose down. Start trimming it off. And then cut up underneath it a little bit more. Start bringing that nose out. And then I come from side to side, sort of help that nose a little bit, in other words. Okay, just got that. It's a bigger nose, but I mean, I use a bigger nose on my figures a lot of times. Since the head is bigger, I emphasize the nose, and we'll work it all in as I've told you and showed you how. In other words. Keep saying in other words, but I will use that word a lot. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not that dumb in the English language, but we work it the way that we have to. Okay. All right, see? Now, I take and I draw a line all the way down here and all the way across, and I actually divide my figure in half, because what I'm doing is I'm bringing the face out, and I do that by cutting across these lines here, and you begin to see the face, because you have that. Plus I also get to establish my ears. Now you can measure on each side. I don't do that. I just cut and make, and it's pretty much even on both sides. There's a shadow on it right now. I apologize for that. Bit of a shadow. But you see how the face comes out? And I'm gonna even cut back a little bit more. A little bit more. But you see how the face comes out? How the, oh brother, what is, got a shadow here. I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't know that was, I don't know if it's the way the sun is hitting it.